Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of Sketching Daily. We're going to go in for a 15-minute sketch today, and it's going to be lots of fun. It's going to be a bit of a landscapey kind of thing. I saw this picture on Reddit. It was really cool. I think it was somewhere in Italy called the Dolomites, and it's going to be a mountainous looking landscape. I got timer set for about 15 minutes. Let's kick it off. Let's go. We got some blue in the sky right here. Let's make that a little bit darker here in the top. Pow, that'll be our little sky for now. A little bit lighter, maybe a tiny smidge colder going towards the bottom. Something along these lines. Ooh, that's a little bit too bright, don't you think? Actually, is it? Yeah, that could work. Why not? That'll be our sky for now. I'm going to make this a very quick one because we only got about 15 minutes on the clock. So, I've been trying to get into the habit of sketching daily and recording my process, so this is one of those episodes. Hope you all enjoy. And for me, it's a great way to try out new ideas and stay productive while not consuming a whole lot of time. And then when I'm actually going in for an actual piece, I got all these sketches I can choose from to kind of help me with a composition to choose that I like. So it's positives in all kinds of ways. Here's some happy little clouds for you. Fluff balls, boom, something like that. I kind of like this color where it kind of blends in with the gray that's underneath. Maybe we can line it up a little bit and drop in a bit of a layer right there. Ooh, that's a nice kind of haze looking color. I like that a lot. And maybe we can use that same color for a smidge more here. Where was I? Oh yeah, so it's a great way for me to stay productive and like kind of like brainstorm ideas without consuming too much time on my day. And I hope you all enjoyed the commentary. I've been having lots of fun with it. If you enjoy these episodes, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. I'm going to try to do some every single day to start off my morning with a bit of coffee. And I think you should join me for that. It's going to be lots of fun. Yeah, even if you're not really into coffee. My girlfriend doesn't drink coffee, so maybe she can have a tea instead. You can have a tea. You can have whatever you want. Just dropping in some highlights on these fluff balls here. I kind of like having maybe this bottom part being a little bit more lit up than the top parts. Ooh, look at that. That's cool. I like that. Boom. I've actually added in a tiny bit of yellow to this highlight color, and that really sets it apart from the darker blues that are in the background. Maybe these come all the way up front here. I kind of like that. Boom. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to... let me redo this bit. Maybe they come all the way to the front. But I'm not sure if we're going to have these clouds all the way in the front. Maybe we'll paint something over it soon. So in this picture, this is where I left off. In this picture that I saw on Reddit, I got it imprinted in my memory because it was a beautiful photograph. I wish I could credit the photographer, but I only looked at it. I didn't save it. So it's a shame, but that's the way it goes. Anyways, the composition of this mountain piece was epic. It was like this big old, let me grab a mountain looking color. Maybe a little bit of a purpley grayish kind of hue. Is this too dark? Is it too dark? Yeah, this might be a little bit too dark. In this picture, it had this giant mountain peak in the background, like kind of like that. Boom. Whoa, that's a lot of funky spikes, but that's okay. Anyways, the shape was kind of like that. It had a cloud hanging over the top like we have right here. And this was kind of like maybe going to the side, but this should probably be a smidge lighter hue and maybe a smidge more blue, something like that. Yeah, kind of. And we're gonna fix all these weird spikes. I just grabbed a random brush, but that's fine. And then towards the foreground, there were all these layers of like grassy hills coming through towards the foreground. It was really cool. Let's grab a darker color. And the fun thing about those is that they were all diagonally facing downward. Whoa, no, not like that. Yeah, more like that. Kind of like this. And then as we got closer to the foreground, let's actually go into more like a green, brown, yellow, gray color. Something like that. Hey, that kind of works. As we got close to the foreground, they all kept on being diagonal like that in the composition. I like that a lot. And obviously the values, the hues went up as we got close to the foreground. Contrast went up. Look at that. That's cool. I like that. maybe we can have him. Yeah, actually, it was fine the way it was. Well, maybe a little bit higher like that. Yeah, that works. And go back in here. Not quite like that. I'm not sure about this purple. We might have to blue that up a little bit. Actually, are we? It's fine for now. First, let's go back to our mountain, and we're just gonna grab a sharp brush, and we're gonna remove all of these spikes and actually shape this thing. Let me up the opacity of this brush. Boom, something like that. Just gonna erase these funky spikes. I mean, they're cool and all, but they're not super mountainous looking. This is a lot better, something like that. Yeah, that spike can stay there. I kind of like that one. And let me zoom in a little bit. Boom, there we go. And these spikes can stay there. That's fine. Alrighty. Now, what I liked about the composition is that we had these diagonal lines at the bottom going kind of like diagonal left and right downwards, but in the original picture we actually had like snowy bits going all across, but in the opposite direction like that. It was diagonal too, but on the other side like so, and it was kind of cool. So I wanted to add that in. Maybe there's like a big patch like right there. Boom. Righto. I feel like this brush is maybe a little bit too nice, but we'll roll with it for a little bit. But I kind of want it to be maybe a little bit more texturized, a little bit more grungy in a little bit. But we might add a layer on top of it. Hello, are we working? Oh no, MacBook struggling. No, wait, we're back. Something like that. Maybe there's like a shadowy, snowy patch right here, and then maybe the highlighty snow comes back this way. These peaks like right there, something like that. Cool. That kind of works. Maybe this comes all the way over to the front like so. Yeah, let's see what that looks like from afar. Hey, that looks pretty epic. I kind of like that. Let's find ourselves a super grungy looking brush, maybe something like this one, and we're just gonna touch up a smidge of this. We're gonna turn this color into a bit more reddish brown dark for our left side. I'm just going to drop in a couple of these dirty looking patches. It might be a little bit too dark and vivid actually. It kind of works. It's not that bad. Boom. And then we bring it forward by adding up a little bit more of the hue coming towards the front here. And we can grunge this up a little bit maybe. Boom. Something like that. I'm not entirely sure if we want that much snow to the bottom actually. Let's change that up. Let's go back into our purpley color. Oh yeah, that kind of works. Actually, you know what? Let's haze this up a little bit. Let's grab our a little bit of purple, but we're gonna make it a little bit lighter, and just gonna set the opacity to about 20%. I'm just gonna haze up this bottom as if there's kind of like a fog kind of rolling through, something like that. That kind of works. I dig it. And going back to our mountain peak, where's another grungy looking brush? Is this a grungy looking brush? This one's huge, but it could maybe do the trick. Let's grab our snow color and make it a little bit brighter. And just gonna touch up a little bit of this. Just adding in a little bit of grunge to these snowy patches. Does that work? It's alright. It's not that great. I kind of like this. Maybe the cleaner style was better. Yeah, let's roll with that. Actually, what's this? Maybe we can use this one. Yeah, sure. A little bit of this here and there. Can't hurt. Let's lighten this up a little bit. Make it look like as if this part's closer. Bring it forward a little bit. And then we can go back into a different kind of like rocky brush, cover it up again, add another layer of depth to it. Maybe we can use some of this color, just adding in a bit of detail here and there. Yeah, that kind of works. I like it. No pixels were selected. Oh my gosh. All right, cool. So now we got that done. It's time to maybe add in some of the foreground stuff over here. I'm just gonna create a new layer. And I'm just gonna go over to, I like this brush a lot. I'm gonna start maybe somewhere in the middle. I'm just gonna grab this color and turn it up slightly, a little bit brighter. I'm gonna set the opacity to about 80%, and just here and there, I'm just gonna tap in a couple of these little fluffy things. As if there's like little grassy things catching the wind and catching some light, something like that. Now don't worry, it looks a little bit patchy at the moment, but that's okay. And we're gonna go in with a different color to kind of like fix it. I just wanna maybe give it a little bit of light first, and then we can go into our old color. I'm just gonna go back in and maybe set the opacity a little bit lower. And add in a little bit of shadowy things, as if all of these little grassy bushes have their own little patch to grow on. Something like that. Cool. I quite like that. And maybe, actually, you know what we should do? We should probably detail a little bit of this purpley stuff too. So we got this purple. We'll light it up a little bit and set the opacity to about 40, I think. And just gonna layer in a bit of this grass, as if there's maybe some rolling hills here in the far distance, something like that. I feel like they were a little bit flat, this bit, so we're just gonna fluff that up a little bit, and then we'll grab our mountainy color, turn a little bit darker. I'm going for the shade. Gotta turn a little bit darker still, maybe a little bit cooler too. Could be maybe a little bit more blue. Yeah, something like that. That kind of works. I like that a lot, actually. Makes it look like these are far away hills, really pushes back and separates the foreground from the background. Boom. Maybe this all goes all the way like that up here. Boom. Kind of rolls down like that. That kind of works. Grab a highlight color, make that come down this way. Yeah, sick. Righto. Where were we? Oh yeah, we were just gonna drop in maybe a couple of super bright ones that catch a little bit more light, and then the others do something like that. Just here and there, just a light touch. Boom. Something like that, like little flowers and things. All right, on to our next batch. We're gonna start off with maybe grabbing the dark color that was all the way in the foreground. Just gonna layer in a bit of that here in our center kind of block. Boom. And then we're going to grab the color of our darkest green here, and I'm just going to make it a little bit darker and add in the shadows of this side. Boom, something like that. Might turn a little bit more blue, actually. Let's go for kind of like a bluish shadowy color. I feel like that's going to set the tones apart a little bit more. Yeah, there we go. And then back over the top. Something like that. Make little layers, light and dark, alternating. Kind of makes it come alive. Boom. That kind of works. As if it's like a flowery field. Now I'm just going to go into some really bright green. But more on the yellowy side of things. And just going to see what this looks like. I might get scared a little bit. Oh, that's super bright. I'm just going to set the opacity to about 20. Just going to give this patch a little bit of highlight over here. And then as we get more towards the foreground, I'm just going to turn it a little bit more orange, a little bit warmer as we go to the foreground. Maybe even a little bit more like that. And then, oh yeah, that's really bringing it forward. Cool. That might actually be a little bit much. We might have to touch this up with a little bit of shadowy color in a moment. But it's kind of getting the point across that these are grassy fields. And what I'd like to do, and this was in the original picture too, as if I recall correctly, is having some really really vivid kind of like flowers in the foreground. So we might try to add that in. And I also feel like we could probably do with some different texture here in the foreground where things just get a little bit more detailed. Oh yeah, that's a little bit more grainy, and that definitely brings the whole thing, like separates this layer from the other layers. Let's go into our shadowy bluish color. Yeah, that works. We should have probably done this first, but never too late to make adjustments. But this is a good texture. I like this one. Oh yeah, it really brings it forward. And maybe we can grab this brush and just like separate a couple of these little bushy, grassy things growing. Oh yeah. Man, that really makes it come alive, doesn't it? Whoa, that's a big one. That's okay. There can be big bushes over here. Just little grassy, leafy things. Maybe we can even add some over here in some lighter color. Smaller ones though, as if they're further away. But definitely separates these layers a little bit. So that's cool. And with all these different textures, it's really starting to look like something. Let's grab a different kind of brush. Hey, that's my alarm going off. That means we're almost out of time. So final adjustments, I'm just gonna clamp in a couple of these maybe darker leaves right here, give them a little bit of highlight. And then after that, it's pretty much done for today's episode. Hope you all had a good time watching me paint. Hope you had a coffee like I did. And then be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more of these videos or just support me in general. I'm trying to crack the YouTube algorithm, not gonna lie, by getting a little bit more active on the channel. And that means I gotta get active on the comment section too. So if you want to support the channel, leave a like, leave a comment, be sure to subscribe, and then we'll catch you on the next episode. Thank you all so much for watching. Hope you have an awesome day. I might go surfing later. Yee-hoo! See you later, everybody.